of it's been very personal, just watching the kids experience it. And for me, I would say, they're two little kids, Ian and Taylor, who recently passed from cancer. And throughout our filming, I was communicating with them, knowing that they were both terminal. And what they said to me and their parents said, they're trying to hold on till this movie comes. And to a certain degree, you hear them say that and you're like, wow, that's like, I gotta get up and go to the gym. I gotta get up and go to work. I gotta learn these lines. I gotta work on this accent. Seeing how devoted all of my castmates are, and knowing that will be something meaningful to them. But it's, to a certain degree, it's a humbling experience, because you're like, this can't mean that much to them, But seeing how the world has taken this on, seeing how the movement is, how it's taken on a life of its own, I realized that they anticipated something great. And I think back now to a kid and just, waiting for Christmas to come, waiting for my birthday to come, waiting for a toy that I was going to get a chance to experience, or a video game. I did live life waiting for those moments. And so it put me back in the mind of being a kid, just to experience those two little boys' anticipation of this movie. And when I found out that they
time with it.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Welcome, Marvel Watchers, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast, brought to you by Anchor, your destination for all things nerdy and pop culture in the universe. My name is Dylan. Joining me today is my partner in crime, Akram, for another review of Episode 2 of Marvel's What If, now on Disney Plus today, so spoilers ahead. I really enjoyed this episode, Akram. You just watched it. How did you feel to hear Chadwick one more time?
So heartwarming and so touching. He brings so much life to the character, and it's a shame that such a phenomenal actor such as Chadwick had to leave us. But I think he left something here that we could definitely remember for the years to come, honestly. So it was a really great episode. How about yourself?
Yeah, he definitely gave a worthy vocal performance. It almost feels like watching Stan Lee, like a cameo, like one last time.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet, but it adds to how great of this character was depicted in this episode. I really loved him as Star-Lord. Like, it's such a different take on the character.
Yeah, I never thought about him. Like, I never really pondered the question about what if he's Star-Lord, but it's like such a random thought, but they made it so well. It's just and it's just so funny too. That episode's so funny. It worked really well compared to the first episode, I feel. I think like
Oh, definitely miles better. Yeah.
yeah, like for me, the pacing was really good. I did notice some things were fast, but that's okay with this episode. I guess it depends on the story. So like with Peggy, I think it would have been better like a slower burn, but here it just, and again, we had Chitala when he was young. 'Cause the same thing happened with Guardians 1. We see Peter Quill when he's kidnapped, and then all of a sudden like he gets right into it, right? So I guess you could consider that kind of fast. Here it's like uh it just fits well,
Well, they
everything
kind of did
blends.
the reversal in this episode, because they started off
Yeah,
with him already being Star-Lord,
yeah.
and then they went back into the flashback scene, which I liked a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Me too.
yeah, he really gives an entirely new Marvel universe. I mean, just goes to show, like, one man's ambition to change the world can change a galaxy. And I like that
Point.
he kept his humanity, like, the whole time. Because if you think about how fucked up Earth was, you go to a galaxy with, like, the Kree War and shit, like, like, that
Mhm.
would put a lot of stress on you. So I like that he still never lost his heart, like, with the Ravagers and stuff, and that he even changed the Ravagers because they were a lot more like, aggressive, and they were kind of like pirates. So the fact that he
Hmm.
was able to reform them just shows like how great T'Challa is.
Yeah, he's a born king. I mean, that's why he fits to be the king of Wakanda, honestly. So it's not it's him, and he grew up most of the time without his father too. But that's the type of man he is, you know. So
Mhm.
I thought it was a great character decision just to make him like that, not to make him kind of like careless or something like that. So um, he changed everybody. It's so funny. It was
Yo, he really
something.
did. He changed Thanos. Like,
Yeah,
God damn.
Thanos was so funny. Uh,
Of all people.
I didn't expect to see him there too. Like there was no
I
like
know.
mention of
And
him or
Josh
something like that.
Brolin too. Did he voice him?
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
crazy.
definitely.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Just
That
him
was like
trying to convince
surreal.
people.
Like hearing him one more time.
Oh my god, yeah, no, and just like I forgot his name. What's Dijmon Handu? How do you say that?
Jaimin Hanzo.
Jabbar Hudsu,
Oh, yeah.
man. It like honestly, it was such it's so funny like how much changed.
Mhm.
Everyone's like kissing Chisala's ass, but it makes sense though. It's so funny. And then Thanos trying to say like why he kind of was like
Mhm.
making sense with her, and no one that's believes him. They say that's genocide. He's like,
But it's random, so it's not
yeah.
that.
It's hilarious. And even Yandu, I mean not Yandu. Oh yeah, Yandu
Well,
actually.
even Yondu, yeah.
He changed a lot. He definitely so like it's basically him at the end of Guardians 2, but like through the whole time, you know, where
Mhm.
he's like more like he's saying, yeah, I am like a father figure and blah blah
Mhm.
blah. You know,
See, I would have thought he would have like stayed the same, like in the movies. Like he's still kind of like this. He still has like traumatic experiences from. I guess that's why he. Well, I did like that he decided not to go after Peter again, because that shows what kind of character is. He has a lot of empathy for young children. Um, I'm guessing because he was a Kree battle slave, so and then he kind of like wants to give T'Challa this chance that he never had to like explore the universe and stuff. Because I think Yondu was even saved by the Ravagers, right?
yeah, and that just see Guardians is all about family and you
Mhm.
know just with him, it just shows you how like sometimes children can change your heart, especially like when somebody even a fucking like I don't like in politics or like some dictator, some shit. Like if you watch a
Mhm.
movie or something and you see like how they're so lovey-dovey with the kids, yet
Mhm.
in contrast with like, you know, the normal civilians of that country or whatever, they're like different, you know. It just
Mhm.
shows how children really change your heart and sometimes extremely for the better, like they did, like, you know, T'Challa did with Yandu. So
Mhm.
very touching. Very touching
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah. T'Challa is definitely like the diplomat of the Marvel universe. He knows how to relate so much to different characters. I feel like in um the Marvel universe, he was a little bit more colder. Even before like his father was killed. I know he just kind of had like this staunch like politician kind of look, but I feel like he's got a little more freedom in this episode to be his own person. So you can see that on screen a lot. And I love seeing Nebula again. She has such a positive look now. She doesn't
Yeah.
have that traumatic. I mean, she probably still has some, baggage with Thanos,
But
but
not as bad, you know,
right.
not as bad. That's what I love. And she has like her yeah, I believe, yeah, basically a comic accurate look with her hair being
Cha
blonde.
cha.
Yeah, I know. And it just shows you. I noticed a moment, one part that I analyzed. And I guess not so much the stress. I think more as the type of person Chadwick is. It's like that moment where even if it wasn't his doing, where the plant, basically those spores came out and like just took over nowhere. You know, it's just such a desolate and dead place. I mean, it's a severed head, and you know,
Mhm.
it's so funny that his episode just brings life to that you know nowhere. You know,
Ah,
to that severed
great
head.
metaphor.
It's so beautiful to see just an episode where everybody's so much alive and everyone changed for the better. Yandu, Thanos. I was gonna
It's
say
so wholesome.
Yelena by accident. Yeah, exactly. It's so wholesome. It's such a wholesome episode, and it's his episode. So
Mm.
that's why I loved it even more. I think everything came together really well.
It's wholesome until you get to the end with Peter Quill.
Yeah, even that part, like I again, like even that part, it's like it's sad to see because he still has his headphones, whatever. And it's like really now, you know what's funny is like I'm thinking when I seen that him with his headphones just working a regular job. I'm like ponder the question, what if now? And just thinking like, oh man, so what if like if somebody actually took him up now? I wonder how he would behave. And
He
now
works at Dairy Queen with Ant-Man.
oh, that'd be I know they should have done that. That would be interesting. That would be actually really funny. And like they're just best pals or something.
Right. He's
And
still
they
like
rob
part of the
places.
heist. Yeah, he's still
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
the heist
I could imagine that because basically they were on a heist in Guardians 1, so that's so funny. That's actually a good what if
crew.
question right there. His father, what do you think's gonna happen actually? Like in the
Oh, with
future, I don't know
Ego?
if yeah, I don't know if they're gonna talk about it later on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be like maybe they're gonna touch on that this season or maybe for saving it for next season. But yeah, I did like that inclusion at the end. Because as much as I love T'Challa being Star Lord, it kind of made me feel for Peter Quill. It's like he still loses his mother, obviously, um, but he doesn't have really like any like parental figures in his life. So I'm kind of worried that like with Ego coming at the end, he's going to be a lot more vulnerable. He's not going to have the Guardians really to check on his humanity. So he's very alone, I would say, because like
Yeah.
I think even like he didn't have like good relations with like his uncle or whoever that guy was in the movie. So he's gonna be a lot more vulnerable, and Ego's gonna take advantage of that, and then he's gonna you know feed him the Kool-Aid and be like, well, you're destined for a higher purpose, and then I don't know if he's gonna end up being like a villain in the next one, but I thought it was an interesting cliffhanger there.
Yeah, and great tie-in with the themes about like family and fathers, especially there's so many fathers here. Yandu,
Yeah, that's the thing. Yondu was like
T'Chaka,
the
you
closest
know.
thing to like a father that Peter had.
No,
So
I
he doesn't
know.
even have Yondu in this. So
I know, but like the whole episode is just filled with like family
mm,
basically and lineage, and there you go. You have ego come at the
mm.
end. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Is that Kurt Russell, by the way, at the end? I'm not sure. I can't
I don't.
imagine
I
him.
for a couple lines I wouldn't think so, but because he didn't even say anything, right? He was just like, "Hey, Peter," or something. I forgot, but
Yeah, I forgot the quote, but it was like
okay.
something quippy, I guess. But
Mm,
yeah, I like again. He's very alone, like you said, very vulnerable. So he's at a sensitive state in his mind to do more, greater. So, but who knows? Maybe he'll actually because I sometimes I don't. I think with certain characters, right? They have a type of aura to them, and it's hard. Maybe they get confused along the way, like Loki. But at the end of the day, there's something about their soul that they actually will do the greater good. They just have to find a greater purpose, as Loki did. And so I feel like I have hope for, I'll say Chachaka. I have hope for Star Lord to do the right thing, and you know maybe who knows? Maybe he's actually gonna keep his godly powers, like instead of like what happened in Guardians 2. That would be interesting.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I
Or
want to
maybe he
see
becomes
more.
the Mad Titan too, because without
Oh,
Thanos,
that'll be crazy.
he's gonna be like power hungry. So I mean, he is a Celestial, so he probably doesn't really need the Infinity Stones, but it'd just be cool to think about like maybe he wants more.
That'll be crazy. Yeah, no, that'll be really interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with the spores too. That's such a
The Genesis
well.
thing. Yeah.
In my mind, it's like if you don't do another episode with T'Challa, which I believe that's incorrect because I think that because I know at the end I read the lists of episodes actually in the last review for episode 1, and I remember like it was something about like they were basically it sounded like an Avengers-esque type group, so I think that everyone comes together at the end.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering, but if there wasn't one, that'll be a really nice, that's just like cutting off loose ends and just saying this is its own thing. And look, they're basically gonna feed all these planets and stuff like that and replenish. So that's uh actually it's as if the Ravagers are like type of gods at that point, especially like lesser known planets or whatever. I think it's just beautiful. I
Eternals.
think the whole thing. Yeah, I know.
The new Eternals.
What if? Yeah, I wonder where they're at. But here they probably no, that would be fucked up though. No, it would be interesting if the Eternals were actually the Avengers here all this time. So they were like replaced the main cast of Avengers and
Who do you
stuff.
think's gonna lead the Avengers now that Captain Rogers is gone?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean it's
Rob Stark.
There you go.
How
I
did you
mean,
feel about like because like I mean we saw Drax for a couple minutes. I thought it was weird that he was at a bar just like serving drinks and shit.
but
'Cause,
his family too. Don't you see that? Like he actually has his family. Like again, the themes are like
oh,
strong with
because
family
yeah,
here.
'cause Thanos never went to his
Yeah,
planet. So, but
that's great.
how did you feel about like not seeing like Gamora or Rocket?
Well, Gamora is in plenty of promotional stuff, so Gamora definitely is
Mhm.
taking the role of Thanos.
That's
I
what I
don't
figured. I feel
know.
like we didn't see her in this episode because they're saving her for the Thanos episode, but it would have been cool to like see her for like a couple seconds.
But she's gonna be really different though, because the collector, like Thanos said, filled the void.
Mhm.
So I don't think she's gonna be up to the same schemes as Thanos was. I think she's gonna be onto something different. Maybe she's just a warmonger or something like that. Um,
She's
and
not crazy.
what
She's
was the
mad.
other character you mentioned?
Rocket and Groot.
Rocket and Groot. Now that'll be really fun to see later on, because I could imagine like the complete opposite of like how they are. Like obviously Groot's gonna speak like Groot. Either he speaks Groot or he speaks Cantonese. You can't choose. But if if,
He's got John Cena's voice, and he just starts speaking Cantonese.
that'd be really funny, actually. Yeah, I know. I just remembered that now that
Randomly.
he could speak. Yeah. No, but like Rocket, Rocket's supposed to be a science experiment, basically. So I
Mhm.
don't know what's gonna happen with him. That'll be really cool to see him in the future too, honestly.
And that would have been
Um,
cool to see him in the Collectors instead of like Howard Duck. Have Rocket be
mm,
in the Collectors thing, and then like at least he has like
mm-hmm,
a cameo. You know.
mm-hmm. They could take him with. They could take Rocket with them, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but no, I like Howard the Duck was so funny to see too, because at least he got more lines here.
Right.
It's like there's not much you could do with him, so he was just left drinking. I mean, I would love to see Howard the Duck a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy family. That would be so funny. And like just to see him live. Like they should do the same thing. Like not even do CGI. Just have like the old Howard the Duck movie, like in the
Right.
1980s. Just have him
Well, it's
there.
the multiverse, so the
Yeah,
variants.
yeah. It's like I don't know. I'm excited for. I hope so. This was really heartwarming. I don't know how the next episodes will be. I guess it varies really, because the first episode, which I forgot to mention too, I like the color that they went with. It was very almost sepia, not going there, but it was like almost like a couple of percentage of sepia,
The first
and
episode.
yeah. It's like that type of like from the first Avengers, like that color
Mhm.
tone, and here it was like more vibrant.
Yeah, it's
Like
more like amethyst or like violet in this one. I guess.
very good analysis. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
'Cause,
I
his
wonder.
his costume is, like, kinda, like, purplish too, so they kinda wanna capture the same vibe, I guess.
We were just talking earlier before we started to record. Tell everyone your thoughts on like, wouldn't that be cool if like he had the helmet too with the
Yeah,
vibranium helmet or
yo,
something?
imagine, like, if, like because vibranium is from space, right?
Yeah.
So, what if it was still out there and, like, he went to this planet and he found, like, a whole, like, fucking, like, mine or ore of vibranium, and he still manages to use that to his advantage, and then, like, all the tech that Star-Lord has, like his helmet, his rockets or whatever, like, it's all vibranium infused. So, he still is technically the Black Panther, he's just, like, you know but it's like a Star-Lord style. That would've
Oh
been
my
cool to see.
gosh. Yeah, that would be so cool. I could imagine like what if the Ravagers were outfitted with like all this stuff?
Oh my god, they'd
Um,
be unstoppable.
well, they went to Wakanda too. Like they're
Mhm.
or like Andy Serkis said, Wakanda. So like they're there, and that part was so fucking cool too. I just love that part. That's where it's like they should have played what was
They
the
should have
song?
called him the Star King too, because
They
he's a
should have
king.
they should have played what was it? They should have played this song while
I thought you were gonna play the Wakanda drums from that
they
out.
should have had that song. But no, it was like it's such a beautiful moment. No, but that's such a great idea. Like where does vibranium come from, right? And like
Mhm.
what if we actually get to see that? Like
The
that would be
planet.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, that's like I wonder if I
Or
like
if it's
that. Oh
just
my
like a
god.
meteorite or something. Yeah, it would've been cool.
Could no one ever thought about using vibranium too for armor? Like, like I don't know in the
Yo, for
comics,
real,
but
like, it's like the strongest fucking metal ever, and they made it for a Frisbee.
yeah, or what if like an episode was just like actually Gamora was the warmonger, but she wants to mine vibranium in that planet or
Mhm.
whatever, and everyone has to come together because she can make weapons of mass destruction or some
They'd be
shit like that. I don't
unstoppable.
know. Oh,
Also, I did
yeah. I'm
oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, even though that would've been a cool idea, I did like that, this episode showed that T'Challa is more than the suit, right? Or the plant that gives him his superhuman strength. Because he is just a guy in this episode with just some gadgets, but he's still a good fighter, right? So I love seeing that, like, even though he doesn't have his suit, he is still a hero.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah, because he definitely has some skills fighting. So they must have trained him like really young, and then plus the Ravagers and stuff like that. If anything, I would think like if he came back to Wakanda, he would be a better king because his experiences.
Mm-hmm.
He probably would honestly from going to multiple galaxies. I mean not
Yeah.
galaxies, in multiple planets. He probably would actually share resources with the rest of the world if he came back because he
Mm-hmm.
sees because the same thing with the spores. If you have something, you should help everyone else with, and especially the
Well, he's definitely got
technology.
perspective, like seeing other
Yeah,
planets and conflicts. So he would have brought all that insight back to Wakanda and maybe even Earth. Who knows? Maybe he could like join NATO and like try to. I mean, if he could change Thanos, he could probably change Congress. So who knows?
no, I mean he did
Probably have a
mention.
harder time actually, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah, very true. No, I mean, he talked about his father. They had a war or something, which I didn't understand too much, and Wakanda is still standing. I thought it was
Well, no, because
demolished.
he lied. He lied about that. Remember?
Oh, he did lie about that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he just said they had a war and that they destroyed themselves. But remember, at the end, they were still like thriving. I was like, there's no way Wakanda would like start a war just to start a war. It's like they're like a low key society,
Oh,
unless
okay.
like they got like discovered or some shit. But I couldn't
Oh,
imagine
okay.
that they would just like go down that easily. Even without Black Panther, there's still like a strong society.
Now, question is, there has to be a Black Panther. So who was the Black Panther while in
That's
Wakanda?
the real question. Is Peter
Shuri.
Quill?
No, no. What if Shuri all this time? Yeah, I know. What if Shuri was a Black Panther and they just pull her out like one of
I
these
could see
days or
that.
something?
She would be the best, or maybe Okoye, although I doubt it because she's too loyal to
She's Dora Milaje though.
Dora Milaje, yeah.
She's yeah, but no, I could like Shuri there. Holy shit, that's
Or
actually a good
or
question.
Eric Killmonger.
That's a good question too because but he is in that Tony Stark and Killmonger episode, so I feel like he's still fucked
Well,
up from.
that couldn't be related too. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
yeah, everything's related. Everything's related because again, Peggy's supposed to come back at the end. That's what I heard
well,
from
who's
like
to
reports.
say? Oh, I was gonna say like who's to say these are all one universe? Maybe they're different universes and like different events take place in different multiverse. I mean, it could be.
Well,
Could be the same universe.
the point is after what Peggy did, it sprung off different possibilities, but in one universe, which I found weird, but that's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. And at the end, they're supposed to team up. So, and that's what
Okay.
I heard from reports, which is weird though, because you would think, oh, it's gonna be like really wide and like different dimensions.
I see it as like one timeline, and then like different choices branch off. So it could still be like the same. Like I think of it as like the MCU cinematic universe that we know, right? That branched off from 10 years. So Peggy's event could be one event that branches off, but it still continues, right? Like for example, even though Peggy chose to become Captain Carter, we still Wakanda's the same society too, and everything pretty much stays the same. Minor changes obviously, but um, for the most part, like different parts of the world still become what they were in the MCU. That's how I see it. But if you're saying that's what the reports say, then I believe it.
Well, you guys decide. So take your bets now for our 5
Ponder the
followers.
question.
Yeah, what
What?
if?
Take a
Follow us.
shot every time we say that in this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I just love that line. We have a GoFundMe, so take your bets there, and we'll see.
Also, this is so stupid, but like I kind of wanted like at the end when like T'Challa sees his dad, like Yandu's like he may have been your father's son, but he wasn't your daddy.
He says that in front of Chachaka.
He just looks at him like,
Yeah, I know. I mean, I said that guy must have been really old. Well, I guess not. I was gonna say he must be like 100 years old or something like that. But
right, because
no.
he's in space, so time moves differently and shit.
But that's what I was thinking. But I guess no. We just have to forget about that. This isn't what's that movie called with Matthew McConaughey?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Overall, it was really good. I liked it a lot.
me too. Compared to Agent Carter, which was a good what if question. I saw a meme that somebody was like saying, "What if Steve is actually the Winter Soldier in the future?" or something like that.
That would have been
That
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Especially as like a love interest. But like here, um, I think it's just far more superior than the last episode, honestly. So I guess it just depends on the story and just everything
Mhm.
coming together. Like if all pieces come together really well and fit well, so
Mhm.
that contrast to Peggy Carter's episode, where like you were saying about like you're just saying a lot of themes and symbology about the shield and stuff like that, and the suffragettes and stuff like that. Like they should have mentioned that. There was more
Mhm.
that needed to be done. There was more metaphor and symbology with her character that they should have like went into. Which
Yeah,
they,
just like, throw a motif in there instead of just being like an exact copy of the movie. Like all you're
yeah,
doing is really changing that she's a woman, basically.
yeah, because this episode is really, it wasn't an exact copy. This
Right.
episode is like really
Yeah, it
different.
was
And
its own entity.
what do you think of the collector when he was like pulling out like all
Oh,
this stuff?
I forgot to mention the villains in this episode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did like the Collector a lot. He definitely shines more than he did in the movies. It was so cool, like seeing his cachet of like weapons from like different. Like, how the fuck did he get Hela's crown and Mjolnir? If you pause, he had Thor and Cap's shield. Like, how the fuck did he get?
That's I didn't even notice Mjolnir. That's crazy. I noticed Cap shield. I didn't notice Mjolnir. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe he's like Loki's dagger and shit. It would have been cool to see like different weapons too from like the Marvel universe, but I thought that was cool that they threw that in there because he is a collector, so he's probably got like parts from the universe and stuff. The Black Hand,
Yeah.
again, throwaway villains. I kind of wish they had more time, but they were beating the fuck out of Thanos, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I was
The
like, but
irony.
Thanos is trained like to fight. Like he fucked up Hulk, and just seeing like his training. So that's crazy how like he was getting beat up so much.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, he is kind of like softer now, so he's not as ruthless.
hmm.
He's mad, but he's not crazy.
I like that part. That was like such a like Avengers one where like
Mhm.
Thulk, I said
Oh,
Hulk pondered the question, what if?
what?
Woo! No, it's like that was such an Avengers one moment where he's like, I'm always angry. I love that, man.
Mhm.
No, that was cool. I don't know. I love Hela's like sword thing too. I always thought that was
Mhm.
such like a cool visual thing when you see that. But yeah, he's like so fucking ruthless too, because you see like his whole collection. It's like what's that? Monsters Inc. Like when they had like all those doors or something
Oh
like
yeah.
floating in his face. It was just like kind of like that. It's like so much shit. Um, yeah,
I
I
like that,
like them.
even what was his maid, Karina? Like, I like that
Karina.
Karina. I like that she still had, like, a moment of, like, revolution. Because remember in the first Guardian, she took the Power Stone and she used it, but, like, in this one, she still kinda has, like, that rebellious moment where she has, like, that epiphany where, like, "Okay, well, I have power now, so" and she doesn't even use it to, like, kill the Collector, right? She frees everybody in the in his, what do you call it? His base or whatever. So she's not about revenge, right? She's about, freedom and revolution, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, this episode, honestly, which is weird, but this episode revealed everyone's true self in a way, right? Like Thanos is driven by a simple calculus, as he says, right? But when you show him a different equation, he changes his mindset. That's the person that he is.
Great
And
analogy.
yeah, no, yeah, and it's like everybody just changed, and that just shows you um, T'Challa's like soul and spirit, just like be affecting people, and that harkens a lot to Chadwick as well, where many people were saying, he changed my life for this. He was such a great guy. That's why this whole episode was very like for me teary eyed because I was like, wow, everything came together so well, especially the plant thing we were talking about earlier. It's just
It's
it's so
even like
full
he
of
said,
life.
like, even though he's not with us, remember, in my culture, death is not the end.
That was good. There you go. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So that's really how it is. Like, even though he's not with us, like, he's still so impactful that he still resonates with all his, fans.
Absolutely.
Actor of a
Absolutely.
generation, dog. Like, there's only like few people that can fill that role.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But yeah. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Uh Honestly, no. I feel like we're ending it on a high note, just talking about Chadwick, and I just want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for kind of supporting us. I don't know, don't sleep on us, but really appreciate anyone who's listening out there, and we're gonna definitely come back for next episode, for episode 3. So
Yeah,
I
we're
can't wait
already
for you guys to hear.
14 episodes out. I mean, of our show, obviously not. What
Yeah.
if?
Everyone's like, oh,
Right? What?
check Disney Plus.
Ponder the question. What?
Yeah.
But yeah, just it's crazy how far we gotten so far. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you to all our supporters listening and sharing our content. We really do appreciate it.
absolutely.
Also,
So,
I can't wait for. I'm sorry, but I can't wait for fucking Star Wars Visions.
he saw the trailer. I gotta see that
Ever
trailer.
since I saw it yesterday, I am too hyped right now.
I have to see it. I definitely know it will be good though. From what he told me, especially. So
Wait, you didn't see the trailer?
I know I honestly didn't have the time. I
Boy,
guess,
you
but I
sleeping,
have to.
dog.
Yeah, I know. I
You
was sleeping.
sleeping.
I'll watch it after this. But yeah,
Ponder the question, what if
what
Akram
if?
watched the trailer? No, but it was really good. Like, I know you're not like a huge anime fan, but like
But it's so
it
funny.
looks so good. Like, I kind of wish What If had taken that route with like different animation studios. I said this before, in the last episode, but yeah, Visions, dog. Like, I don't think it's gonna be canon, obviously. There's a lot of too many stylish. I think one of the episodes might be like an Akira Kurosawa like episode, like like a retelling of Seven Samurai, but like in a Star Wars style.
Right.
Rewatch the trailer. You're gonna see like the choices that they use for
Mm.
like some of that. There's like 7 studios involved in this shit, dog.
Wow.
That's crazy because there's gonna be like 9 episodes, so one of them is probably gonna be doing more episodes.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder. That's crazy. No, I mean, I'm not a big fan of anime, but like if it's like something like Star Wars or whatever, I'm definitely gonna check it out. That's crazy. Well, I'm excited to hear it. I seen like something where somebody had like a staff, like multiple lightsabers around there,
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
like
they're
a
taking a
picture.
lot of like risk in this show, and I love it. I kind of want something like away from the canon right now. That's why I love the EU because like they take so many risks.
Mm.
Um, this is definitely like style based, so I don't really care too much for story. But if there's still a good story behind it, I'll definitely love it more.
Yeah, I mean, and then again, it's like the old Clone Wars show too, which is like far from like canon basically, because it's not considered canon now. Clone Wars
Hmm.
is, but it's like it kind of a show like that, like especially animated, kind of reminds me of that. Like I'm sure it's gonna have a huge cult following
Hmm.
to come, and it's now on Disney Plus. It's gonna be on Disney Plus
Right.
like from the start. So yeah, can't wait.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening to our review for What If Episode 2. That's pretty much all the time we have for today. If you like this review, give us a like and follow. We'll be reviewing each episode of What If the same day they release. So you'll definitely have more content coming. And be sure to follow our social media accounts, which are tagged at the end of this video or in the description. Until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
Take care. Oh my god.
Classic stuff.
It's like classic Craig when he doesn't record. Classic Craig.
No, we're like waiting for the recording to start. We're like, a Ravager never flies solo.